Yo, what is going on, my friends? Welcome back. It is a brand new season, and with it, Solar 3.0 is here, and I'm going to be giving you a Sunbreaker subclass breakdown. Solar 3.0, we're all about the Fire Titan here, my friends. So let's get right into it. The first thing we're going to look at is, of course, the aspects. So we have Consecration. This is the brand new Titan ability. Just take a look at this. It's like Kratos slamming down his fiery chains. It does give me those kind of vibes. While sliding, activate your charge melee ability to launch a wave of solar energy forward, damaging and scorching targets in front of you as you leap into the air. While airborne, activate your charge melee again to slam the ground and create a second larger wave of damaging solar energy. If the wave hits the scorched target, they ignite. That would be a good point now to move over to the abilities that obviously Solar 3.0 comes with. You can see two of them there on the right hand side. Scorch. The target is singed by destructive solar light, taking damage over time. Scorch damage increases as the target accumulates more Scorch stacks. After enough Scorch stacks are applied to the target, they ignite. That leads us on to Ignition, a large solar explosion which deals damage in an area around the target. Restoration. You regenerate health and shields over time. This cannot be interrupted by taking damage. You also have Cure. You are healed in a burst of mending solar light. And we have Radiant. Your weapons are enhanced by the power of the Traveler and deal increased damage to foes. This is really nice. I don't know exactly how Titan's going to be applying Radiant, if it even can, but obviously we're going to be getting into that as we take a look at more of the abilities. Now, the other aspect is basically Sunspots. Sunspots have been turned into an aspect, which is pretty awesome. The big difference now, however, is that Sunspots no longer give you a damage buff. Instead, they provide restoration, so they heal you when you're inside the sunspot. This is really nice. They also apply Scorch and deal damage to targets inside the sunspot. So you no longer get that Sun Warrior damage buff. That seems to be been done away with, it looks like. But sunspots are still going to be very powerful. The other aspect slot is Roaring Flames. Previously, this was only available on Middle Tree Sunbreaker. Now it's available for any type of Titan that is solar. And Final Blows with solar abilities or ignitions increases the damage of your solar abilities, stacked 3 times. So that is basically unchanged. When it comes to the melee abilities, you now have a choice between Hammer Strike and the Throwing Hammer. They are also unchanged from their previous versions. Nothing seems to have been updated about them as far as I'm aware, but it's nice to have the choice between them now. As far as the super goes, you now have a direct choice between Burning Maul and Hammer of Soul. Hammer of Soul seems to have combined aspects from Top Tree Hammer and Bottom Tree Hammer and combined it into one very good super. And then of course Burning Maul. Well, Burning Maul is Burning Maul. I'm kind of disappointed to not see some changes to this super. It doesn't seem to be working in any sort of different way, and I was hoping they'd get a bit of a rework because it is a pretty weak super. But yeah, no changes there as far as I can tell. Basically, the one significant difference for Sunbreakers is going to be Consecration. This ability is very powerful. Looks like it can one-shot or two-shot since the 2-step melee, but it does seem like a very powerful ability. So if you're a Sunbreaker, you want to be focusing on Consecration for sure. Now, we're going to finally take a look at our grenade options and our fragments. So you have your typical Solar Titan grenades, fusions, thermites, and incendiaries, but now you also have access to all of the other solar grenades. You have to go to Ikora and meditate to get these. Swarm Grenade, Solar Grenade, Healing Grenade, which is a new addition, Firebolt, and Trip Mine Grenade. So previously only Middle Tree Warlocks had access to healing grenades, but now every class does, which is really awesome. It provides Cure and Restoration, which is very powerful. Very interested to see what choices players make with their grenades. And lastly, we have a bunch of fragments to look at, so let's take a look at them. Ember of Singeing. Your class abilities recharge faster when you scorch targets. We have Ember of Benevolence. Applying Restoration, Cure, or Radiant to allies grants increased grenade, melee, and class ability regeneration for a short duration. We have Ember of Beams. Your solar super projectiles have a stronger target acquisition. Interesting. You can use that to basically give tracking to your hammers, I guess. We have Ember of Empyrion. Solar weapon or ability final blows extend the duration of restoration and radiant effects applied to you. This is pretty strong. Not yet unlocked. I'm guessing just like the grenades, you'll be able to get this over at a core array. We also have Ember of Combustion. Final blows with your solar super cause targets to ignite. That'll be very good for hammers. I don't know how worth it is in PvP to use a fragment that only buffs your super though. Powered melee attacks against combatants make you and nearby allies radiant. So if you were to get a kill with this bad boy, you would become radiant, and being radiant is pretty good, you know. I would say it's pretty damn good. Your weapons are enhanced by the power of the Traveler and deal increased damage to foes. Ember of Char. Your solar ignition spread scorch to affected targets. Ember of Tempering. Solar weapon final blows. This is basically tempered metal. Basically, solar weapons final blows grant you and your allies increased recovery for short duration. Whilst Ember of Tempering is active, your weapons have increased airborne effectiveness. Okay, so they've actually reworked this quite a little bit, and it does give airborne effectiveness. I like that. We also have Ember of Blistering. Defeating targets with solar ignitions grants grenade energy. Ember of Solace. Radiant and restoration effects applied to you have increased duration. Ember of Eruption. Your solar ignitions have increased area of effect. And Ember of Ashes. You apply more scorch stacks to targets. Ember of Wonder. Rapidly defeating multiple targets with solar ignitions generates an orb of power. And we have Ember of Searing. Defeating scorched targets grants melee energy. So now that we've taken a look at all of the fragments, I feel like a lot of these fragments are based on just looping your abilities and granting healing and damage buffs, and there's so many interesting combinations that we're going to be able to play with in future videos. But for now, I just wanted to give you a quick look at Solar 3.0 Titan. Hope you guys found the video useful and informative, and if you have any specific videos you want from me at the beginning of this new season, do let me know in the comment section. Like and subscribe, and prepare yourselves for even more content. Turn on that notification bell so you don't miss any of these uploads.